Well, it's hard to believe we've reached Friday already and the end of the work week. Thanks for clicking on to the Friday edition of Vogan's European Outlook for the 19th of April. I think it's the 19th. Is it the 19th? Yes, it is the 19th. And a very warm welcome to you. Thanks for clicking on to the video for today. No video tomorrow, but I will have the live stream coming up this Sunday at 4 p.m. as per usual. Quite excited about this upcoming live stream. We're going to be talking about plenty of things. There will be a link, by the way, for that video in the description below, so you can click on that at your leisure and even hit the notification bell so you're reminded of the live stream this upcoming Sunday. But we're going to be looking at the situation that took place a few days ago in Dubai with the record-breaking flooding in excess of a year to even 2 years worth of rain falling within a 24-hour period, causing chaos in the Middle East. We're also going to be looking at the situation that took place in Sulawesi in Indonesia, a level 4 volcanic eruption, Mount Ruang. I think that may be the right pronunciation, the volcano that went off in Indonesia several days ago. We'll look at that, some dramatic lightning displays captured within the pyroclastic flow. So these are two hot topics that will be discussed in the upcoming live stream this Sunday, the Global Weather Report edition 89. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, obviously the flooding situation has been significant. Rainfall, record-breaking rainfall at that for some parts of the UK here. So this is a list produced by the Met Office in the last 24 hours, showing that these are the locations that have seen their wettest April on record. And what is more impressive about this is the fact that there's still 12 days left to go, despite the fact that these locations have never seen in recorded history a wetter April than what has occurred this month. So Shap, Cumbria, top of the list at 194 millimetres of rain. Glasgow, Bishopton at 123 millimetres. Strathallan Airfield in Perthshire 114. Drumalbin, Lanarkshire 107. Salisbury, Lanarkshire at 104. And Morecambe in Lancashire at 88 millimetres of rain. So very interesting stuff. Also, the situation with regards to the groundwater is running very significant indeed. This is a tweet here by Dave Throb. I think he's a retired Environment Agency director or manager of some sort anyway, and he's saying that groundwater also well above average across England and at record levels at a number of locations, resulting in widespread flooding. Chilgrove in East Sussex, Chalk Aquifer saw its highest level at the end of March since 1836. So that is obviously a very significant record to be achieved in East at this particular site in East Sussex anyway. And it all stems back from an ongoing wet pattern that has been discussed already here in the channel, so there's no point in going into too much detail with regards to the causes and the reason behind the pattern. That has already been kind of touched on, so I'm going to move on from that. But nonetheless, very interesting stuff. Also, you can see here rainfall compared to average in this particular chart. I think it may not be overly clear to see. I don't think it is, unfortunately, but it's interesting actually nonetheless to see that it's essentially the central swathe of the UK that has seen the biggest percentage compared to average rainfall wise for the month of April. I thought this was quite interesting because we've got above average up to the Lossiemouth area on the Murray coast. We've got the close to average conditions, slightly above here at my nearest weather station, which is Tain Range. Then you've got slightly below average up in the northwest. You've also got below average down across the south and southeast of the UK, but it's actually the central swathe across northern England, parts of Northern Ireland, and especially southern and southeastern Scotland. That is where the heaviest rain compared to average has fallen during the month of April. This all goes quite nicely on to what I'm going to talk about next. The potential for a drier than average May is very much present, and it's interesting to see the reasons why we may be seeing the biggest shift in weather since a way back last summer, which is pretty remarkable stuff actually when you think about that. The reason maybe behind this change to drier, shutting down the jet stream. Now, naturally, the jet stream does start to weaken at this time of the year anyway as we move from spring towards the summer season. But this is an interesting tweet here by Christian. This is one of a three-part tweet, and I'm only going to show you this first tweet because unfortunately, I'm a little bit tied for time today, which I do apologise for. But he says here that finally, after the stratospheric warming, so this is us talking again about the stratospheric warming. I asked the question, why are we seeing a change? I'm always trying to find the answer as to what the reason is behind what could be a potentially significant change in the weather pattern here across western areas of Europe, and it may extend back to that stratospheric warming all the way back to the beginning of May. Yeah, not May, sorry, March. I'll get there. March. So that you're saying to yourself, how can you still go all the way back to that stratospheric warming at the beginning of March, which we're now well over a month since that? How could that be possibly making the difference now? Well, it is possible because it looks as if he says that after some drips in the troposphere regarding the SSW at the beginning of March, troposphere coupling now seems like a reality. It took about 50 days, but it seems that from April 20th there will be a long awaited tropospheric coupling. Now, we know that we're going to increase the block. Now, we've got a very strong positive Arctic oscillation at the moment, but it is tanking back negative once again. And this could be now the forcing from stratosphere into the troposphere, raises the heights within the Arctic, the North Atlantic, to the north of the UK. And then essentially what that's going to do is it's going to start to weaken the jet stream to the point where we're going to have higher pressure building over the UK. We've also got a wave 5 pattern that was discussed in the Met Office deep dive back on Tuesday about blocking areas of high pressure to the east of the Urals, to the east of the Himalayas, and to the east of the Rockies in North America as well. And that tends to have a slowdown effect on the entire northern hemispheric circulation. And this is now the potential change that's taking place. So, very, very interesting stuff. So, what went on within the stratosphere back at the beginning of March may now be starting to change the pattern in our neck of the woods and really across the majority of the northern hemisphere, by the way. So, I thought I would show you that because I thought that was most interesting when it comes to the reasons why we are likely to see the first real dry spell since all the way back to last summer. Now, we did have high pressure. The last time we had higher than normal pressure was back in January. So, at the very least, you have to go back to January for the last time that we've really had a persistent high pressure system over the UK and Ireland that will essentially result in drier conditions. This is the GFS ensemble for the upcoming 5-day period, by the way, and we'll just skip through the anomaly and you can see what takes place here. That area of high pressure shifts off to the west-northwest. Essentially, it shuts the door to the Atlantic, by the way, traps the trough over Central Europe. We're going to see a cold spell now already in place, by the way, but also continue to persist through the remainder of this month. And you can see what takes place. So we're blocking off that Atlantic pattern as we shift the area of high pressure to the west of the UK. It leans into the UK and Ireland, but this is a drier overall theme, but not necessarily a warm theme. Unfortunately, we've got a colder looking chill to end the month of April here. So we could actually go from one of the warmest to one of the coldest back halves to April in many a year. Very warm start to the April and potentially quite a cold end to April, especially in the areas that have seen the warmest conditions, and that being Central Europe. But you see here, once this pattern kind of kicks in, a possibility that it's due to that strat warming, as Christian says in his tweet. But once it locks in, it kind of sticks around for the remainder of this month. You can see here the negative kind of drifts over towards our neck of the woods, the UK and Ireland here. And consequently, this is the rainfall anomaly chart here. So the upcoming 7 days looks like this here. And then as we play right the way through towards the end of the month, we've got drier than average signaled by the model. So this was also a tweet, by the way, that I put out the early hours of this morning. And you're saying to yourself, why are you tweeting at the early hours of the morning? Well, obviously I work night shift. This is the past 7 days, by the way, of the CDAS 0.5 data. So this is the last 7 days compared to normal. Incidentally, this is the next 7 days, and this could be one of the coldest end games to April on record, believe it or not, for the UK. Not the UK, for Europe, sorry, for the heart of Europe. This could be one of the coldest ends to an April. Incidentally, it's likely it was the warmest first 2 weeks of an April on record as well. So a big flip around taking place, a big seesaw. Certainly plenty of reason to stick around here on markvoganweather.com on YouTube, because I'm showing you things that potentially you're not seeing elsewhere. We've got a live stream coming up this Sunday, and despite the fact that I'll be away next week, there is going to be pre-recorded videos taking into account the May outlook and also the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season forecast as well. So plenty of reason for you to hang around here on the channel. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, a very warm welcome to you and hope you're enjoying the content. If you're an existing subscriber, thanks for sticking around, and equally, I hope you're enjoying the content also. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll be back with the live stream at 4 p.m. on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.